Hello, this is Lisa Hazard with the podcast We're All Psychic. And today we have a wonderful guest. Misty's not here, but we have Alyssa. And Alyssa is going to talk about things and stuff. But first, I want to ask you a question. Alyssa, would you like to say hello?
Hello.
Hello. And Alyssa, do you think we're all psychic?
I do. And did you want me to elaborate on it
I would
or
love for you to elaborate on it. How did you get there?
well, how did I get to the point where I'm psychic?
Or where you think that everybody said both? I'd
Oh,
love to hear
okay.
it.
Well, I believe that everybody is capable to be psychic. I believe a lot of people are blocked from being psychic completely. I know that there's a lot of the pineal gland calcification. I don't know. That's one theory. There's different theories that even when you start at birth, you start to develop the psychic and you have it full blown, but then um, just the lifestyle tends to block it and create the barriers so that you are not able to be as psychic as you want. I think everybody is psychic right now at different levels, but it's definitely at different levels. I don't think everybody has specific supernatural powers that everybody else does. And also, from what I've gathered, there is um, different there's different species, different races on planet Earth, where everybody has different gifts, and that's also another theoretical theory,
Yeah.
that there's different species and races, and ETs and everything. But yeah, I do believe everybody is psychic. I don't believe everyone is been granted their own psychic powers for various reasons. That's all I have to say about that.
That's
You know more than me
You
about
did
that
great.
stuff.
That's a really detailed and thoughtful answer. Thank you. And it's right. Everybody's different. Everybody's experience is different. So there are different, it really depends on each individual, what happens to them, what their environment is, and what they do with it. Right. So, listeners, this is really cool. I introduced her coming in our Pendulum podcast. She is a writer, which makes me very happy. And she writes about metaphysics and fashion and ways to make your life healthier through fashion. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. And I came onto this show realizing that a lot of people would be into the metaphysics and the psychic arts. And a lot of my new book, Healthy Fashion, The Deeper Truth, and my work in general, I have a campaign called Healthy Fashion Campaign, is geared towards looking at fashion in a new perspective, in a new light, and also trying to bring fashion into the spiritual awakening on earth, making it be a tool for our spiritual awakening and our spiritual ascension path and journey.
That's
So,
awesome.
so yeah, thank you very much. And there's a lot of different theories and concepts that bring us to the point of, oh, fashion can actually be a tool and it can actually be a healing mechanism and a way to help support our mind, body, and spirit. And it can get to the point where we are finding that our fashion can make us more psychic. Our
Mhm.
fashion can bring us into a state of enlightenment. Our fashion can be a tool, just like a crystal, or like different type of a nutritional meal, or a song on the radio. There's Every industry has ways that can support uh, the metaphysics of the body, the spiritual body, and the energetic body, and fashion can too. And it gets down to whether it be the colors of the dyes, the types of fibers that we choose to wear, the materials, the types of materials. It comes down to the design, the ergonomics of the design. Is it aerodynamic? Is it therapeutic for us? What we're going to be sort of initiating into the new age of the golden age, which I would believe would be the future and current society, is having fashion be a way to develop ourselves and a way to enforce it as a curative therapeutic treatment for the body. And I talk about in my book fashion and the aura and how it helps support the energy body. I talk about fashion and different types of silhouettes that are angelic or of divine properties. So there's a lot of different um, things that are a part of the book and a part of my work. And a major part, yes, is the metaphysics of fashion. And I'm actually going to be writing a second book, which is going to even delve deeper into magic and fashion. And
Oh, wow.
that's a whole new conversation.
That is, both of these sound so freaking amazing. I can't wait to read this book. So, when listeners but Alyssa wrote me an email and she told me about herself, and I was just like, oh, I gotta be her. Because as the listeners know, if they've been listening, I'm a jeweler and I make sterling silver gemstone jewelry, natural gemstone jewelry usually, and I do it for metaphysical and fashion purposes because they make you feel good. They're blingy, they're pretty, they're fun to make, and they do work. So can you give like some examples of what you have like in your research and your experiences with, like, for me, the rings work, really well for me to kind of focus my day, to kind of, give me whatever energies are, associated with the crystals I use. Like, what are some examples you could give listeners that they could take from this podcast and implement? Like with
Well,
their wardrobe, but let's say they're trying to open their psychic senses more, because that's kind of what this podcast
yes,
is about. So what would be some
yes, absolutely.
suggestions?
Yes, absolutely. And I'll second that about the sterling silver because I've not only known it, but I've discovered it in research, um, metaphysical research, that silver is a conductor of protection and healing. So, silver is a major proponent to health and well being. And I believe, actually, I really need a piece of jewelry that's silver.
I'll make
I might
you
have to make
one
a
for being on the
collection.
podcast. I'll make you a ring.
Oh, no, you don't have to do that. I'll
Mm.
check take a look at your shop. Do you have a shop? I'm sorry.
No, not right now. I'm selling my jewelry at a shop in town, so I don't have anything
Awesome.
listed. Mainly, I just do custom orders right now. COVID kind of took my jewelry business, so it's just me,
Okay.
And I usually post it
Yep.
online and stuff. And I'm moving right now, but when I get settled in, I plan on hammering out some stuff. So I
Awesome.
have tons
Oh,
of
wow.
stuff, but I don't have anywhere to do it right now. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So, as we had spoken, jewelry is definitely crystal jewelry, metals like silver and gold and copper. I believe ergonomics, fashion and ergonomics is a way to support the energy body and the mental and emotional body and the physical body. So, I'll give you an example. They have the therapeutic acupressure shoes. So, this is just one example, one simple example, wearing a sole that has pressure points on the bottom of the foot, which is where all the meridians are located. And that is going to circulate the energy in your body in no time if we just
cool. I
wore.
never thought about that.
Yeah, it's out there, it exists, it's not common. um,
Oh,
yes, another healing modality that we could use, and this is a little bit different, that I had kind of developed myself. I made a 13-foot scarf, knitted scarf,
wow.
and yeah, 13-foot knitted scarf, and it was sort of like Native American. I had like Native American embroidered fringe at the end of
Oh,
each, all these
cool.
tassels. But what I did was I wrapped it around my stomach at one point to use it as a heating pad.
Oh,
And this is fashion, but it's also turning into medicine because when I wrap this on my stomach, the knit, because it had the knit wear, the holes in the knits, it was breathing through. There was breathability. So my skin was able to breathe, but then because I wrapped it for so 13, well, for a 13-foot scarf, that's a lot of
yeah.
wrapping. But it conducted heat on its own. it was therapeutic and ergonomic because it was made out of a knit weave. And it's the way heat works is it's, you go in, the shamans use the sweat baths in those
Yeah,
hot, it's very common to use heat. So that's one another piece. And we can just really use basic things that are not basic. In Egypt, they use color therapy as a way to treat disease. I know the samurai warriors, they used indigo dye. They dyed their undergarments with indigo dye in order to let the indigo dye absorb into the skin and treat wounds and injuries.
ooh,
There's different ways that are medicinal and therapeutic and also metaphysical, because when we're treating the physical body, we have to treat the energy body and the mental body.
exactly. That's just amazing. So, like, I'm getting those shoes, by the way. I'm finding them. They are mine. You said they're hard to find, but I'm gonna find those shoes because I was thinking about the
Yeah,
reflexology socks. You know, those reflexology socks. Like, if you could
yes.
just line that up with those shoes, that is just brilliant. I'm still stuck on that. I'm just
Ooh,
like, I feel like you have so
yeah.
much information on this. Like, how did you start studying? Where did this come from? This desire to work on this book and pursue this subject. Where did the idea come from? What occurred to you to make you realize this great correlation?
That's a great question. And I started very young when I was 16 years old. I'm 36 now, but when I was 16, I started drawing stick figures practically.
Mhm.
And there were fashion illustrations. And I really enjoyed drawing fashion and illustrations. So that brought me into going to design school. And I went to Academy of Art University for fashion design. I was about to graduate, but I had 8 classes left and I dropped out. So yes, I am a college dropout.
Me too, 3 times.
Hey, hey, you tried 3 times and you must be like a scholar at this point.
7 years of school. Yeah, I kept changing
Yeah,
my
so
major.
yeah, you're a scholar. You're not a college dropout anymore.
Thank you.
So I went to school for fashion design and I spent many years sort of in retail, developing a lot of ideas when I was styling customers. And I went into retail management, fashion merchandising. I produced a fashion show. I produced a handmade fashion brand, which actually I had entered into the Saks Fifth Avenue talent search competition, and I did not win, but I was entered. So it was really, really
Cool.
important milestone for me.
Yeah.
Um, so after all of that, and also traveling and living at several ashrams and monasteries, which was my kind of my second home. I loved
Wow.
visiting the different ashrams and monasteries. One was Bhavana Society in West Virginia. The other one was Shivananda Vedanta Center in San Francisco. And these ashrams and monasteries really kind of developed my spiritual life and my spiritual path, and it made me really grounded. And you'd see all of these spiritual figures dressed in these comfy robes and draped in cotton, and it made me realize that there's something about that. And I just have been a sort of philosopher about fashion for a long, long time, because there's just so much superficialness out there. There's so much, what is fashion? It's just very shallow. A lot of fashion is very shallow, so I like to
Or
go
it's an
deeper.
opinion. Yeah, it's also an opinion about fashion.
Yes.
"Oh, you're into
It,
fashion, that's shallow." It's just kind of a typical
yes,
opinion to
yes,
me.
yes,
But,
yes.
it's fashion's fun. I mean, if like, for me, it took me I went to Catholic school for 8 years, so I wore a plaid skirt or a plaid jumper and a white shirt, you know? So when I got to high school, I was like, "I don't know how to dress," you know? So it was like, I dressed like my mom told me to pretty much, and then when I got to
Yeah.
college, I was like shorts and a t-shirt. But you know what? When I got older, I really enjoyed dressing myself. It felt like I could express myself. And there's this movie, I don't know if you like period pieces, but there is a movie called The Duchess and it has Keira Knightley in it. And there's a line, it's a pretty sad movie, but there's a line in it, it's a period piece. So I think it's like the 1800s in England. And her husband says something to her about why she's always making dresses and hats and stuff. And she says, well, men can express themselves any way they want, but all we have are our hats and our purses and our dresses to express ourselves in this society. So it is like, each person, when they feel comfortable in what they're wearing, and then they, if they want to express themselves differently, a lot of times they don't feel comfortable in these clothes. What are people thinking? But they might like feel a different way because they're wearing something else if they aren't scared, or intimidated or afraid of the judgment of other people. Like
Yes,
I've
yes.
always loved hippie clothes. I've always loved them, but I never would really wear them because I didn't feel like I was a hippie. Like I've had that block. But now that
Yep.
we talked in emails, I had a psychic reader, tell me to wear more bright colors, which I have. I used to wear all black, and that lightened me up a lot. And it's also the intention of trying to lighten myself up by wearing colors that helps too. But it really does. People seem to feel more welcome in my company when I'm wearing colors and not all black.
Yes.
And I do wear the long hippie skirts now, and they are so comfortable, and I feel good in them. I can do yoga in them. They feel right. It's like, why did I wait for that? Like
Exactly.
I had a
Yep.
block about judgment of other people, but it's really for me. The passion, changing my clothes and what I wear for the day is really about what I want from the day and how I want to feel, I think now. Right.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that
So,
was all beautiful.
so
Very
for
well
he-
said.
Thank you. Well, for like healthy living, I'm gonna throw a question at you. I'm pretty healthy right now, but I still have some back and neck problems. I have like compressed discs and nerves. Could you recommend any kind of fashion that might help with back problems? Any kind of thing you've read
Yes.
about, or okay.
Okay, so what I know that needs to be developed is a cushioned sweatshirt and a cushioned jacket that could also potentially have acupressure points
Oh,
targeted in the jacket. And this probably it may be out there already. I know that they're developing, the shawls with the heating pads. So you have a nerve problem. So I would
I also
suggest.
I also have a bone spur going into my spinal cord inside my neck. But I think
Well, I would
I'm
suggest,
decalcifying it and it seems to be
yeah, no,
working.
it takes you have to be gentle.
Yeah.
I would say wrapping in a nice cotton or a nice linen or another nice plant-based woven or jersey scarf. I
Okay.
would say wrapping it with plants because they're plants, they're made out of plants. The plants, you'd be surprised, the energy of plants, the energy of the scarf can actually do wonders. And I mean, I would actually suggest for fashion, you have the back to tactile sensitive fabrics.
Okay.
So, and by meaning saying tactile sensitive is something that is not going to irritate the skin because if it irritates your skin, it's going to irritate your blood and your bones and your muscles and everything.
Right.
Um, this is not a question I actually would probably take on because my work is really holistic and it
Yeah. Oh,
treats the
so it's
whole
like
body.
that's the way it should
It's the whole body.
be.
But no, 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 no. No, it shouldn't be that way because I have injuries myself and I have injuries myself and I use certain things. I use certain fashion accessories to help because I know well my leg for instance, I've had injuries with my leg. It's an old running injury that never really cured itself
Oh,
for various reasons. I believe it's slightly evil, the reason why this is not healed quite yet. But I've wrapped this with gauze fabric, and I'd be surprised at just the comfort you can get by wrapping. Because what we do, even in the olden days, we wrapped the wound with gauze. We wrapped the wound with materials in order to make it get better. So I would definitely consider wrapping with a scarf and then putting a hood over your head to keep it from not moving. I mean, you
okay.
might get a little hot, but and also trying to purchase cotton jersey. See, there you go.
I guess
Something.
good.
uh, Trying to just trying to get tactile sensitive fabrics as well for your back.
Okay.
But that's something that I would have to really ponder a
Well,
little bit
I kind of
more.
threw it at you. I just thought I'd see,
Yeah.
that's
No,
already. I mean, I love wearing scarves around my neck. I mean, I have one
okay,
right
so
here,
then even
so
yeah,
yeah,
so
I
when you
feel
put it
like
on,
it.
when you
Yeah.
put it on, you're activating. When you're conscious of it, then you're activating the power of it. Because
Oh,
if we wear
yeah.
it and we don't feel like it's doing anything, but typically if we put it on and we feel like it's doing something, that's when it's really going when we're conscious of it, that's when it's really going to have its healing powers.
You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, because I
Even the
took it.
colors. Yeah.
Yeah, the
The
listeners
colors of
can't
your
hear.
scarf.
Yeah, this one's black with little silver sparkles and it's thin. The listeners can't see me. We're on Zoom, listeners, but I had a scarf right next to me. And as I took it off, the pain started coming back. And when I put it on and she was talking and telling me what, intention like I could put, and I've started rubbing it against my neck and nothing. I don't know. I feel better. And I also feel a little happier because it does feel good, and it makes my neck feel
Yes,
loved. And instead
it's
of
like a
rubbing
Band-Aid.
it, it is like a
Yes.
yeah, like
Yes.
a hug from a
Yes.
band-aid. That's
Yes.
really,
And
really, really,
I would hope over time it can do even more, you know?
yeah, I will
Um
definitely implement
we
this.
I have to. I tell myself I'm going to, wrap my leg with the fabric, and then you see me do and I don't. It's a matter of routine and habit. I think I have to get myself into doing it, but I'm not all talk. I wear 100% plant-based fabrics. I wear all different types of colors, and I'm really into ergonomic fashion designs that help the body move in a way of ease and comfort and multiple other things that I do. So yes.
I'm a yoga pant person. I love some yoga pants. That's like my go-to. They're so comfortable. I do a lot of yoga anyway, so it's like really convenient, But yeah, there's nothing like I hate having anything tight around my waist. That will just make me irritable and stressed. It feels like it's cutting off like the flow of energy through my whole body, you know. So
Oh
I
yeah.
go, yeah, I like the comfortable waistline or something on my hips. It is like it, but it's this is such an interesting topic. I could really just pick your brain forever. I wish Misty were here. She would go crazy. So do you have any advice for listeners like other than reading your book, which by the way, when is your book coming out? What is your release date?
The release date, it is up for pre-order right now, and the release date is December 1st,
Mm.
2021, which is a few months away. But you can go to IndieBound, Amazon.com, or BarnesandNobles.com and Google Healthy Fashion, The Deeper Truths, and you can purchase it for pre-order if you're interested.
I'm gonna do it. I'm totally doing it.
Oh,
I am.
awesome.
I'm really excited about it. That's really great. And you have a second book. Are you writing it right now or is it finished or
I'm working on notes. I'm actually kind of just living life and experiencing life, and my experiences are going to be probably prompts for my second book. So I'm kind of experiencing my life a little bit, and I'll be taking notes. And I've been taking some other notes when find new research. But overall, I think that they do develop. My ideas and thoughts do develop over time.
Yes, exactly. I don't know if you know who Jack Kerouac is, you probably do. But he had written On the Road. I think that's the one who wrote On the Road. I might have my names mixed up. Menopause Memories coming back, but it's still a little. But he spent 7 years on the road and he wrote that book in like 2 or 3 weeks. So
Wow.
he compiled all these experiences and things he learned, and he's a beatnik writer,
Oh,
and
yeah, I've
he
heard.
got really
I know Jack Kerouac, I
yeah,
know,
he
yeah.
got really popular, and that's just like 7 years and then 3 weeks just compiling it. I feel like that might be something you're kind of do you experience and you put it into your writing. That's the way to do it.
I do that. I channel a little bit. It's a little
Yeah.
bit of a channeled book, and I don't like to really always, say that because it's like, isn't it my writing? But I am channeling the book through Great Spirit. I would believe I would call Great Spirit. And just like my spirit guides, they're helping me get this information out. Because fashion is definitely my passion, but it's not the only thing that I work on. I
Right.
actually I actually am a energy healer, and I don't necessarily work on people, but I work on land. So I go
Oh.
to different energy vortexes, and I sort of activate some of the ley lines.
That is so cool. Have you been to Sedona, Arizona by any chance?
I have been meaning to go there, and it's on my to-do list for sure.
When I lived in Phoenix, I went to Sedona a few times, and now they have vortexes, listeners, and vortexes are places where they amplify. This is what I was told there. They amplify the emotions and the situations you're already going through to make you deal with them. It's kind of the way it was explained to me. They amplify things. And both times, well, I went 3 times, I think, but 2 of the times I went, I was not in a good place. And, I was in bad relationships and et cetera, et cetera. And when I went to Sedona, Sedona told me so. The vortex is told, and I didn't like it. It made me real uncomfortable. So I
Oh,
wonder now if I went back if it would be different, because like now I'm happier and I have more confidence and stuff. I wonder if I wouldn't have been, I'd be affected differently now. Cause I was just like, I hate Sedona. And I always thought it was the red because everything's red, like the rocks and the cliffs are all red. But red's my favorite color. But still, I was like, maybe that's what's making me, because I was a little bit skeptical, even, when I was 27 or 28 and starting tarot cards. I was still skeptical, about things like vortexes. And then it just really did affect me. So,
oh,
have you found that working with fabrics and stuff from different plants, or do you find like exotic fabrics like from other countries, like other nations or other parts of the world, to be helpful that we like maybe we don't have access to as much in the States or aren't as well known? Like silk in China is like a very big industry. So,
well, I believe that there's so many countries in different fabrics that we have to lean towards, hemp and nettles in Europe, Pina silk in Asia. Um, yes, there's all different countries, all different types of plant fabrics. And this is really, I don't believe I've discussed this with you yet. We have a lot of cotton and linen that we use predominantly, but in order to sort of remove the polyester, which is sort of affecting our body scientifically, we have to bring in multiple different types of plants so that we do not stress out the cotton and linen flax plants, because there's just
oh,
really no way to cover 7 billion people and plants unless we use different types of plants. So yes, you are correct. Are you talking about the fabrics, or are you talking about the types of fabrics like the saris in India? Are you
I was
talking about
talking
the
about what they're made of, what the fabrics are made of, like
Yes.
what you had got, what
Yes.
you talked about
Yes.
before.
Yes, in North America, there's the cattails, and this is a fluff, a type of fluff
I
inside
love
the cattail.
cattails. Yeah, we used
Yeah,
to play with them as kids and hit each
and
other and they blow up, they're so much fun.
yes. Well, this has been tested and studied to be used for inside, like an alternative down for coats
That's a great idea.
and mittens. Yes, so cattails, and then there's the capic. The capic tree is in Africa, I believe. And the capic is like a type of nut on a tree, and inside, when you crack the nut, there's all this fluff. So this is also being done and used, and I believe in the textile markets in Europe, they are actually selling capic. Yes,
Wow.
they are selling capic. So yes, I took a little bit of a world tour when it comes to finding out all the different plants on Earth and where they can be mass produced in a sustainable way. And unfortunately, there needs to be more textile development on everybody's end, because we can't go back to the loom and we can't go back to traditional practice, or the economy is not going to advance. So once we discover these different types of plants, like lotus stem or hyacinth flower stem and root, using those as the fiber for fabrics. Once we discover them, then we make the machinery and be able to alleviate some of the labor practice that's involved in
Right.
a lot of the textile industry.
Thank you. You're just blowing me away. I'm telling you, I'm enjoying this so much. You're just giving me so much information and I'm just like, I just love it all. Can you want to let listeners know where they might be able to find you other than your Amazon book? Do you have a website or anything that they could, or social media that they could follow you on or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and thank you so much for saying that. I enjoy talking about fashion and healthy fashion so much. You can find me at my website www.hfcampaign.com, and that's H as in healthy, F as in fashion, and that's where you can find. I also have a book tab on my website and all my social media accounts and everything.
That's awesome. I will put that information in the description of the podcast as well. And I hate that Misty missed this one, so I have to invite you back. Would you like to come back after your book release and
Yes,
tell
I'd
us
love
how it's
that.
going? I would love that. Yeah,
Yep,
I want to.
absolutely.
Now, if I start writing you emails all day long, like, what is this fabric? I'm just kidding. I won't do because I'm like really, I'm pre-ordering the book as soon as we're done. And and I'm just like, oh, I can't wait till December 1st. So I guess I'd get here on December 2nd. But
That's awesome.
I love that. I love this idea. I can't wait to read it. And lastly, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Everclear. Everclear is an advice app. Everclear.com as well as a website. You can get your advice from empaths and psychics, and you can hope to gain the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And I really want to thank my listeners, and I really want to thank you, Alyssa. This is just amazing. And I told you before the podcast, I'm nervous when Misty is around, but you are just so brilliant and so knowledgeable. I can look at you and just see like there's just so much information and knowledge and wisdom with the knowledge. That's just you've got a lot to offer the world in what you're writing, and I think you're going to educate a lot of people and make them very happy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Liz. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. And listeners, we'll be back real soon. We got a lot of stuff scheduled, and I guess I will talk to you again soon. Thank you again, Alyssa.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everybody.